Seiko is told by Momo that Bamora is an alien, but remains unconvinced and decides to contact the school to have Bamora attend as a transfer student, much to Momo's objection. Seiko then leaves for work with Turbo Granny accompanying her. With the decision made, Momo picks out clothing for Bamora. However, instead of changing outfits, Bamora uses her kaiju suit to scan and replicate Momo's school uniform, surprising her. While walking to school with Bamora, Momo tries to teach her how to say her name and hugs her when she succeeds. She quickly stops, reminding herself that Bamora is her enemy. Momo then sketches something in her notebook to show Bamora and asks about the golden ball Bamora possesses, suspecting it might be Okarun's second Kintama. Bamora shows her the orb inside her kaiju suit's head, which is no longer gold. After Bamora returns the orb to its slot and the kaiju suit reverts to its original form, Momo notices the orb glowing gold and develops many questions. She realizes she can't understand Bamora without Mr. Mantis Shrimp's translator and decides the best solution is to have Turbo Granny look into it. Seeing the time on the city clock, Momo panics, realizing they will be late for school, and quickly dashes with Bamora to make it on time. Despite Seiko's forbiddance, Momo decides to take a shortcut through a ruined area with Bamora. Before entering, Momo has Bamora perform a good luck ritual with her, but eventually they still encounter a tall yokai woman with a big mouth who asks if she is pretty. Momo responds by saying pomade twice, provoking an attack from the yokai woman. Seeing Momo get sent crashing by the yokai, who became annoyed after she said pomade, Bamora enters her kaiju suit's giant form and charges in, landing a direct punch to its face. However, the yokai is unfazed by her barrage of attacks and performs a suplex on her. After getting back on her feet, Momo identifies the yokai as a slit-mouthed woman and starts chanting pomade again, knowing that if she chants the word 10 times, the yokai will be eliminated. Alarmed, the yokai woman stops Momo by using her hand to enter her mirror and pop out from shards on the ground to punch Momo, assaulting her repeatedly and eventually grabbing her by the leg. The yokai reveals that the ground in the ruins is covered with mirror shards, giving her the ability to attack wherever they are placed. Then, Bamora comes in to restrain the yokai and is warned by Momo to say pomade 10 times to defeat her. Finding Bamora to be a favorite because she looks cute next to her, the mouth-slit woman chokes and traps Bamora within her mirror, intending to keep her there to admire herself. She warns Momo that if she is defeated by chanting pomade 10 times, Bamora will also disappear. Momo, not trusting Bamora, doesn't mind the risk. She applies her powers to some rubble, refusing to be defeated, and insults the yokai by calling her ugly. Enraged, the yokai chases Momo, shouting that she isn't ugly. Momo seizes the opportunity to grab the mirror. While running, Momo tries to release Bamora from the mirror using her powers, but is unsuccessful. Left with no other choice, she decides to take the mirror to her house and have Seiko look into fixing the problem. However, the yokai traps Momo as well, meeting the condition that her own reflection must be made, and gazes at both girls' faces, calling them ugly cows. After capturing Momo and Bamora inside her mirror, the yokai takes advantage of Momo by drawing on her face with lipstick, though she quickly regrets it, believing she only made Momo look cute. She complains that she can no longer see her own reflection as long as Momo and Bamora are in the mirror, and further complains that they chose to act cute in front of her. Frustrated with their misuse of her mirror, the yokai angrily releases them so she can see her own reflection. However, she finds that Momo and Bamora have mysteriously disappeared and hears Momo chanting pomade, causing the yokai to desperately search for her before she completes the chant 10 times. Unfortunately, the yokai is too late and crumbles away. Having succeeded by using Bamora's kaiju suit invincibility, Momo and Bamora quickly escape the ruins, relieved to have made it out alive. Momo promises to never enter the area again. After thanking Bamora for her help, Momo is embraced emotionally, gaining her trust. Soon after, Momo arrives at school on time with Bamora but is berated by a staff member for almost being late. She meets up with Okarun and Ira, who were waiting for her. Ira laughs at Momo, unaware of the lipstick marks from the yokai. Momo informs Okarun that she brought Bamora as instructed by her grandmother. Both Momo and Ira are shocked to see Bamora excited to talk to Okarun and try to prevent her from getting close to him. A staff member then arrives to inform Momo that Bamora, the exchange student mentioned by Seiko, will be placed in Okarun's class since the teacher speaks fluent English, and that her class is already full after Gigi's transfer. The staff member also tells Okarun that he will be in charge of Bamora, much to his shock and Momo and Ira's objection. Despite their protest, the staff member insists the decision is final and instructs them to head to class. Later, Momo and Ira are blocked by entering Okarun's class by the Class C president, who does not want them interfering with her classmates' study session with Vamola and threatens to alert the teacher if they don't comply, much to Momo and Ira's annoyance. In class, Vamola is surrounded by her classmates who are eager to teach her words and get to know her. When a classmate asks where Vamola is from, Kinta intervenes, saying she is from India. The class president then asks Okarun about his connection to Vamola. Okarun explains that he only knows she is staying with Momo. Noticing Vamola's attachment to Okarun, Kinta jumps in to clarify that Vamola is attached to him because he defeated her, which Okarun agrees with. Confused, the class president insists she will only believe Kinta's story if she hears it from Okarun, trusting him to be honest. However, when Okarun mentions he also saved the world by piloting a robot, the class president, finding it hard to believe, runs out of the classroom, disappointed with him for not being honest, something Okarun had anticipated. Started by Vamola referring to him as her boyfriend, Okarun questions who taught her that word and denies to a classmate that they are a couple. Kinta then informs Okarun that Momo, Ira, and Gigi are waiting for them in the halls. Momo, showing her displeasure, gestures for them to join her outside, which they do. Outside the school, Momo berates and attacks Okarun for choosing to socialize in class rather than meeting with the others as planned. As Ira and Vamola try to intervene, Okarun escapes Momo's wrath with Gigi's help and wonders why Momo is acting this way. Gigi explains that Momo is upset because the class president interfered with their meeting and suggests that talking to Momo might help resolve the issue. Okarun decides to stay in the hall to wait for the others, and Gigi mentions he will hide while keeping this plan in mind, though Okarun asks why would he. Once Momo calms down, she approaches them and notices Okarun talking casually with Gigi. Okarun explains that Gigi ignores him when he speaks formally, which Momo finds unfair. She demands the same casual treatment, but hears Okarun's reluctance, who explains that his informality with Gigi is due to the evil eye within him. Shifting to important matters, Momo informs the group about the gold ball powering Vamola Kaijutsu and wonders if it might be Okarun's Kintama. She asks Vamola to reveal the ball and shows it to Okarun. Vamola then replaces the ball back into the Kaijutsu and Momo suggests that it could function like a battery. Kinta suggests that the orb is likely part of the suit, as installing it recently would be too complicated. Noticing some girls finding the group's gathering amusing, Momo decides to end the meeting and suggests they meet next time at a different location to avoid attracting attention from their schoolmates. At home, Seiko scolds Momo after learning about her and Vamola's adventure in the ruins and apologizes for her actions. Despite Momo's assurance that she repelled the slit-mouthed yokai with a spell, Seiko is concerned she will now have to say pomade 100 times. She explains that the spell only temporarily expels evil spirits and becomes less effective with each use. Seiko warns Momo that the slit-mouthed woman named Reiko Kashima is unbeatable and advises her to avoid going outside after 10 p.m. and not to peek out of windows for the next week. Meanwhile, Reiko Kashima begins roaming Kamikoshi City in search of Momo after returning to the living world. After placing 2 glasses of water outside the school, Seiko instructs Momo and Vamola to either put away or cover the mirrors in the bedroom and to stay inside from 10 to 5 to avoid Reiko. Although Momo feels confident about falling asleep, Seiko expresses her concerns and makes it clear that they must absolutely not leave the room under any circumstances before shutting the door. During the night, Momo, unable to fall asleep while Vamola is already resting, is startled by a knocking sound at her window. She hears Okarun's voice calling her name from behind the curtains. Momo asks why he's here at such a late hour. Okarun explains that he came to return the manga she loaned him and decided to stand guard outside after learning from Seiko that she is being targeted by an evil spirit. Although Momo appreciates the gesture, she tells Okarun not to worry about her, as his presence only makes her feel guilty and prevents her from falling asleep. Momo is then taken aback when Okarun confesses that his main reason for protecting her is his feelings for her. Flustered, Momo tells him that she can't hear him clearly and asks him to confess directly tomorrow, which he agrees to, wishing her good night. Desperate to hear his confession in person, Momo prepares to go outside, but hesitates when she notices Seiko's sign on the door, instructing her not to leave the room. She then asks Okarun if he plans to hang out with Gigi tomorrow. Upon hearing Okarun refer to Gigi as Gigi-san, Momo becomes convinced that she's actually speaking to Reiko Kashima, as Okarun never addresses Gigi so politely. Realizing the deception, Momo returns to bed, but Reiko Kashima, using Okarun's voice, viciously continues to knock on her window, tormenting her and preventing her from sleeping. The next morning, while joining Seiko, Turbo Granny, and Vamola for breakfast, Momo feels too tired and depressed to eat, her emotions battered by Reiko Kashima's manipulation the previous night. Seiko, anticipating this, explains that Reiko can use mirrors to peer into people's hearts. She instructs Momo to help Vamola eat properly with her chopsticks, but focuses more on getting Turbo Granny to identify the orb in Vamola's kaiju suit to determine if it's one of Okarun's Kintama. Turbo Granny examines the orb and identifies it as something akin to human karma, which she finds repulsive. Momo's left puzzled, questioning why an alien like Vamola would possess such an item. After buying Vamola a new backpack and having her switch to a different uniform, Momo walks with her to school and is soon greeted by Okarun, who wishes them good morning. Momo shields Vamola from Okarun to prevent them from getting close and greets him with a strained good morning. Okarun notices that Momo looks pale and asks if something is wrong. Momo explains that her lack of sleep is due to being targeted by Reiko Kashima. When Momo asks if Okarun visited her last night, he denies it, causing Momo to react with frustration and vent her anger at him, while Vamola tries to hold her back. Poor Okarun is bewildered by the sudden hostility. Meanwhile, Miko, Kei, and Rorina observe Momo sleeping at her desk and muttering in her sleep. Meanwhile, Okarun teaches Vamola how to thank people properly, leading to compliments from his classmates who crowd around him and Vamola. Noticing Momo, Ira, and Gigi outside the hall, Okarun and Kinta join them from behind the school building. Ira questions Kinta about his presence and he suggests setting up a formal meeting place. Kinta responds that he assures he is part of their group too. Momo agrees but demands that Kinta refrain from making any dirty jokes around her. Kinta disobeys, resulting in Momo and Ira kicking him out in annoyance. The others then watch Gigi demonstrate his new ability to bend trees taught to him by Seiko. Since he can't use the evil eye's power, that is all he can manage for now, with Gigi promising to become stronger and more useful, which pleases Momo and Okarun. After school, Momo instructs Okarun to walk Vamola home while she goes to work, sternly warning him not to do anything inappropriate. Okarun, noting her harshness, assures her he won't and observes her unusual behavior. Momo also warns Vamola not to flirt with Okarun. Before leaving, Momo is thanked by Vamola, who comments on her progress in understanding human language. Soon after, Okarun and Vamola meet up with Ira and Gigi and inform them that Momo is at work. Ira and Gigi express concern about Reiko Kashima targeting Momo if she stays out past 10. Okarun reassures them that Momo will likely request to leave work early, but they decide it's best to pick her up later, as they believe waiting could be risky. After separating from Okarun and Vamola, Ira is shocked to learn that Momo works at a maid cafe. She giggles at the idea of visiting the cafe to tease her. Ira is also surprised to hear that Okarun visited Momo at the cafe and thought she looked cute. Blushing, this makes Ira consider applying for a job there herself, though she is offended when Gigi questions her ability to serve customers well. However, in a sudden twist, Ira and Gigi find themselves in empty space, while Okarun, elsewhere in empty space, is confronted by a group of exosuit aliens. Yo, DJ Miles here. Just to clarify, the robot you see here is from the Persona series. Yes, it's based on an ancient Japanese god, but we'll stick with Persona for now. The other is a nod to the alien xenomorph. I'm unsure about the other alien groups, so if you know their inspirations, drop a comment below. Anyways, before this confrontation, we see Okarun walking Vamola to the Ayase residence as he gives his goodbye and prepares to head out. Vamola stops him for the 5th time to tell him something in her own language. Despite not understanding her, Okarun gently removes her hand and tells her he can't marry her since he has feelings for Momo. Flustered after his confession, Okarun runs away. Still reeling from what he just said, Okarun's attention snaps to the sudden shift as he finds himself in empty space, where he turns to see a group of exosuit aliens confronting him. Meanwhile, Ira and Gigi face the problem of battling 3 exosuit aliens. In her acrobatic silky form, Ira dodges missiles launched by the missile persona exosuit alien and targets him with a kick. The alien blocks her attack with an electric shield that stuns her, guiding the missiles toward her. Using her hair, Ira manages to avoid the missiles but is then hit and sent crashing by a laser shot from the tiny sniper exosuit alien. The sniper alien immediately fires another shot while Ira evades, narrowly avoiding the laser. Seeing Gigi running from the tall alien with the shockwave field, Ira tells him to switch with the evil eye to assist her since she can't protect him and fight simultaneously. Gigi says he can't since the evil eye agreed to only fight Okarun, but he will fight the sniper alien while she handles the missile alien. Using his newfound ability to emit ki from his hands, Gigi lands a hit on the sniper, but is warned by Ira that the shockwave field exosuit alien is behind him. Gigi tries defending himself with the same attack, but is harmed by the field due to its ineffectiveness. Seeing Gigi in trouble, Ira throws a bucket of cold water at him to release the evil eye, but sees the water evaporating on contact with the shockwave field. However, the shockwave field alien notices the evil eye, displeased at seeing the alien, has been set out loose and is unaffected by the shockwave field's power. Not knowing what was going on with the giant alien standing in front of him, the evil eye is instructed by Ira, who has her hands tied trying to avoid a hit from the rifle suit alien, to take it down, and that he is granted permission to fight someone other than Okarun this one time. However, the evil eye refuses to go back on his word to Okarun and proceeds to walk away, wondering what was going to be for dinner. After Ira warns him that they won't return to their normal world if they don't defeat the suited aliens, the evil eye turns around to see the vibration suit alien bringing out 6 mechanical arms with cylindrical hands. The vibration suit alien then uses these arms to repeatedly punch the evil eye and finishes him off with a large laser beam, knocking him unconscious. Becoming distracted by this, Ira is hit by the rifle suit alien, lands on the electrical shield from the other alien, and becomes open for a barrage of missiles to bombard her, leaving her too badly injured to continue fighting as she collapses. After bringing both Ira and the evil eye down, the persona suit alien removes himself from his suit, revealing that the pilot has a body of an octopus, and takes note of how fast they were able to end the fight in less than 3 minutes, but believes that he and his allies should move elsewhere or they will be in danger. The alien also takes note of how the planet they're on is abundant with moisture, which tells him that they can't use lasers, and speculates that the Earth's heavy gravity is the reason why Earthlings have strong bodies. The alien then looks to see Ira's acrobatic silky hair creating a dome around her and the evil eye. After the rifle suit alien shoots through the dome, the suited aliens see that Ira and the evil eye have managed to escape. Believing that the two couldn't have gotten far, the octopus alien returns to his suit and uses life sign detection to find them. However, he finds it hard to locate them with the scanner only picking up white orbs, and orders his allies to open fire on the empty space Kamikoshi City to clear the area. Having run out of time after receiving a signal, the suited aliens leave Kamikoshi City for other matters, resulting in empty space being cancelled out. After managing to escape with the evil eye through the sewers, Ira comes out in the open and lays down on the ground, exhausted, but tries to hold on to what strength she has left to try and warn the others about their enemies. Elsewhere, Okarun battles the suited aliens with fierce determination. He skillfully dodges missiles from the mecha alien and retaliates with a rapid flurry of punches. Next, he swiftly avoids the tentacles of the Frieza-looking alien and delivers a powerful drop kick, sending it flying. However, as he engages in close-quarter combats with the Xenomorph alien, the fight becomes intense and dynamic, depicted in a stunning double-page spread where the two opponents move with the precision of dancers, anticipating each other's moves. The Xenomorph alien attempts to punch Okarun, but Okarun narrowly evades, causing the Xenomorph to strike the ground instead. Seizing the moment, Okarun goes on the offensive but is countered by a powerful punch from the Xenomorph. As Okarun reflects on the distance between them, he senses a wave of pressure and realizes the spatial suit alien has arrived. He is then pulled into the Xenomorph's grasp, which unleashes a relentless barrage of attacks on him. Despite his valiant efforts in defeating several aliens, Okarun is ultimately overpowered by the remaining two. The spatial suit alien crushes him with its abilities, knocking Okarun out and reverting him to his original form. Impressed by Okarun's strength and the Serpo's description, the spatial suit alien commands his allies to extract Okarun's Kintama using a Serpo apparatus. As they prepare to transport Okarun's unconscious body for an investigation of his internal anatomy, Mr. Mantis Shrimp in his enhanced form intervenes, attacking the alien holding Okarun. Not wanting to waste any more time, the spatial suit alien orders his team to transport out of the area and ominously tells Mr. Mantis Shrimp that they will hunt him down the next time they meet. With the suited aliens gone with the empty space, Mr. Mantis Shrimp reverts back to normal and tries to wake Okarun up from his injuries. Elsewhere at Momo Kikoho, Momo is informed by one of the waitresses that her shift has unexpectedly extended past 9. To avoid encountering Reiko Kashima at 10, she prepares to leave. However, Momo finds herself locked in as the customers and waitresses transform into clones of an alien, all resembling balding middle-aged men. Their unsettling appearance adds to the creepy sense of dread as they slowly begin to ambush her. Momo manages to fend off the clone aliens initially, but is eventually subdued as they nullify her psychic powers to pin her to the floor. The clones, commenting on Earth's power, express their belief that they will be able to create the perfect suit. Momo realizes they must be allied with the Serpo. The clone aliens reveal that their information on Momo is accurate, thanks to Bamora, who had inadvertently led the suited aliens to her and her friends, leaving Momo stunned. The clone alien then prepares to use the Serpo dissection tool on Momo. However, just as the dissection begins, the clone aliens are blown away from Momo when a Serpo arrives to retrieve what they had stolen. Momo is initially shocked to see a Serpo standing before her. The Serpo hands her an iron, requesting her aid in smashing the heads of the clone aliens with it. Though Momo questions why she should help, she realizes she has no other choice as the clone aliens charge at them. Together, Momo and the Serpo smash the head of one of the clone aliens, causing it to revert back to a Serpo, who then joins their side to repel the clone aliens with psychokinesis. The Serpo aiding Momo explains that the clones are actually Serpos whose data has been overwritten to assume a different form by an unknown group that robbed the Serpos of their possessions. Using the same method as before, Momo and the Serpo managed to revert an army of altered Serpos back to normal during a skirmish. As the battle seems to factor the Serpos and Momo, she notices a large alien sticking to the ceiling and informs the Serpo, who attacks it with a psychic blast. However, the attack makes no contact, and the alien counters by mind controlling the Serpo to attack Momo. Though two Serpos manage to free him, the alien proceeds to take control of the other Serpos and attempts to do the same with Momo. Momo fights back by throwing a chair at the alien, but it passes through, making her realize that physical attacks won't work. A Serpo informs Momo that the alien is attacking from another dimension, allowing its attacks to make contact while rendering it immune to attacks within the empty space. However, he tells her that her paranormal abilities can interfere with the alien's dimension. He urges her to focus on defeating the alien while the Serpos handle fighting off the altered Serpos before they are eliminated. As instructed by the Serpo, Momo targets the mind control alien to pull it off the ceiling with her psychic powers. However, her attempt fails as the alien overpowers her grasp, pulling her up onto the ceiling instead. The Serpo informs Momo that it is impossible to drag the alien into their dimension and that she must use her powers to attack it directly. Despite this, Momo points out that she has no way of using her psychic powers offensively. After being pierced by the alien, she is flung around the room by its tentacles. As this happens, more Serpos become mind control, reducing the number of unaltered Serpos. The Serpos are quickly being outnumbered as Momo, struggling to fight back without Okarun, begins to black out from the damage. She recalls a memory of Miko criticizing her for her poor performance while pouring tea, saying she lacked conviction. Then, she remembers her childhood when Seiko taught her to use the power of words to alter reality by practicing on kicking a sandbag. After failing, Seiko asked Momo what she believed to be the most powerful creature in the world. When Momo answered Nessie, Seiko named her bat Nessie and demonstrated how to properly use the power of words, sending the sandbag bouncing off the house. Along with this memory, Momo recalls having to do the Momo tri-beam with her friends, which awakens her. With all the Serpos defeated and mind controlled, Momo becomes the only target for them to attack while hanging by the mind control alien's tentacles. Forming a heart shape with her hands, Momo fires a psychic blast that pushes back the mind controlled Serpos. The last remaining Serpo calls out to her to target the mind control alien, and she fires another blast while shouting Momo tri-beam, successfully shattering the alien's body. With the mind control alien defeated, the altered Serpos return to normal and see a battered Momo on the ground, presenting them with an opportunity to capture her. Momo dares the Serpos to try and touch her, claiming she can still fight using her Momo tri-beam. Unconvinced by her statement, the Serpos crowd her, calling her bluff. However, they are instantly transported out of empty space by the Serpo who aided Momo earlier, believing they must work together to defeat their common enemy. Relieved, Momo is thankful to have narrowly escaped her predicament. While treating her wounds, Momo asks the Serpo who their enemy is. The Serpo answers that he does not know, as the alien group does not match any of the 666 species in the galactic system. He suggests they might originate from the farther reaches of space using warp technology, which could only be done with a transmission system like the Egyptian pyramids. Momo is shocked to learn that the transmission system for Japan is the Kofun burial mounds. Confused and trying to process everything the Serpo is telling her, Momo asks if the aliens have warped from the farther reaches of space, how did they understand human language so well? The Serpo responds that the alien group robbed him and his clones of all their knowledge and technical data. This sparks Momo to remember how the mind control alien credited Bamora for tracking her and her friends. She then asks the Serpo if he remembers encountering a kaiju when the alien group reboot robbed him and his clones. The Serpo isn't certain, but he suggests it's likely, leading to Momo's frustration. The Serpo warns Momo that her friends have also been attacked and they should quickly reach them before it's too late. Hearing this, Momo demands the Serpo transport her back to her normal dimension to save her friends. Before doing so, the Serpo requests to come with her to reclaim the data the alien group stole from his race. Momo refuses, still viewing his people as her enemies, and prepares to leave with the promise to eradicate him if they meet again. However, after checking the time, Momo's shocked to see that it's past 10 and she will likely encounter Reiko Kashima. To avoid this, Momo decides to stay at a manga cafe until morning and disguises herself with the Serpo's help, since she is a minor. After they check in and get a room, we learn the Serpo's name is Rokuro. After taking shelter in a manga cafe, Momo instructs the Serpo to stay quiet and keep the makeup on to avoid getting them into trouble. While grooming himself, a cafe employee gets possessed by Reiko through a small mirror and under the illusion of being in love is manipulated into finding Momo. When Momo passes out, the Serpo pulls out a cable device from his chest and directs it at her. However, when the possessed employee knocks on the door, waking Momo up, the Serpo quickly puts the device away. The possessed employee tries to get Momo and the Serpo to come out of their rooms by claiming they need to fill out a form again after accidentally erasing it. He attempts to force his way in after hearing both voices. Despite trying to lock the door with a hanger, the employee eventually breaks in just as Momo quickly resumes her disguise with the Serpo. The possessed employee confesses his feelings to the Serpo to get a chance to look up his skirt and check if Momo's hiding, causing Momo to worry. The employee, suspecting something after seeing two shirts, lifts the top shirt. Spotting a mirror on him, Momo uses her bandages to wrap around it, canceling Reiko's possession, knowing from Seiko that covering a mirror can undo the possession. The employee then leaves the room to apologize for his behavior. Afterward, Momo explains to the Serpo what happened and asks about the chest device she noticed. The Serpo changes the subject, asking if she has ever professed her love to someone, which annoys her. The next day, while carrying the Serpo home, Momo sees Chiquitita calling out to her. He informs her that her friends have been attacked. She rushes inside and is shocked to find her friends lying on the floor, badly injured. Mr. Mantis Shrimp is relieved to see that Momo is okay and explains that the octopus alien Okarun defeated has now passed away after leaving its special suit. Momo moves to the special suit to remove the human karma installed and asks Mr. Mantis Shrimp about Okarun's location. He tells her that Okarun is in the next room and reveals that the alien took his Gintama. Mr. Mantis Shrimp did his best to treat Okarun's severe condition with his first aid kit. When Momo opens the door, she's enraged to see Bamora by Okarun's side and pushes her aside. She finds Okarun on life support and learns from Mr. Mantis Shrimp how critical his condition is. Momo demands Bamora remove her disguise, suspecting her of being allied with the octopus-suited aliens. Bamora thanks Momo before Momo attacks her, forcing her to reveal her true identity as an octopus alien. Mr. Mantis Shrimp tells Momo to calm down, but she explains that Bamora is a spy and presents a ball from the octopus alien suit, matching one in Bamora's suit as proof. Bamora's kaiju suit reverts to normal, and she uses her tail to push herself away from Momo before activating its invisibility to escape. Momo chases her outside, yelling for her never to return. She hurls several rocks at Bamora as she eventually leaves. Momo begins to cry, but when the Serpo asks why she's upset despite considering Bamora her enemy, Momo denies that she's crying and insults him. Misinterpreting her emotions, the Serpo concludes that he will never understand Earthlings, which Momo agrees with. She tells the Serpo she plans to seek revenge and ask where the alien group's base is. The Serpo speculates that their base is nearby as they cannot endure Earth's gravity for long. He believes they are using a portable warp device that requires a pyramid-level transmission system and suggests a nearby Kofun burial mound as their likely location. Later, Ira expresses her desire for revenge on their enemies, with Gigi adding that the payback will be twice as much, which gets him kicked by Ira for saying it incorrectly. While Mr. Mantis Shrimp is treating Momo, she feels relieved to see everyone recovering. Ira complains about their condition and blames the evil eye for their losses. Mr. Mantis Shrimp tells Momo to rest, stating that her wound should heal in about 6 hours. Momo thanks him for his help and becomes curious about the cushion devices he used on her broken arm. Mr. Mantis Shrimp admits he brought them without knowing how they work. Ira asks Momo about her grandmother, believing she could defeat their enemies, but learns that Seiko is on a business trip in Hokkaido and is unreachable due to not having a phone. This disappoints and worries Ira, concerned about when the enemies might attack again. As Momo checks on Okarun's recovery, she asks about the Evil Eye situation. Gigi explains that the Evil Eye is only interested in fighting Okarun due to their contract. Ira, still distrustful of the Evil Eye, asks about Bamora. Momo reveals that she kicked Bamora out and identified her as a spy for the enemy. Ira throws a tantrum after figuring out that she was right not to trust her. On the other hand, Gigi defends Bamora, saying that it was not her that revealed her true identity since she couldn't speak their language and that their enemies might not have been so fluent when speaking to her. Momo then gets into an argument with Gigi on how she denies this was not likely. Suddenly, this causes Okarun to speak up, asking them to return to getting along. When Momo, Ira, and Gigi gather at Okarun's bedside and see he can talk, Okarun reassures them that they're okay and apologizes for letting the enemy take his Kintama. Momo accepts the situation, saying she will retrieve it. However, she panics when Okarun becomes quiet. Mr. Mantis Shrimp tells Momo to calm down and reattaches the life support cord to Okarun's mouth. He explains that Okarun had removed it to speak to them because he was disturbed by Momo and Gigi's earlier argument and adds that he dislikes seeing his friends argue. Outside, Momo shows Ira, Gigi, and Mr. Mantis Shrimp the torso-less Serpo she brought, shocking them. The Serpo complains about being left alone outside, but Momo counters that he wasn't in a position to stay on her property. She informs them of her plan to use the Serpo and explains that the enemy stole Okarun's Kintama. The Serpo suspects their enemies are outer space globalists aiming to invade Earth with a main force and plan to use Okarun's Kintama as an energy source. He adds that while the aliens are few in numbers, their methods are extremely forceful and they will rally a main force. A glimpse of this main force is then shown in space, revealing a menacing ship with teeth-like features prominently displayed in the center.